No matter if points are gained or points are lost, there will be much to discuss. For analysis regarding tonight's Winnipeg Jets game, here are Dave Minuk, Ezra Ginsburg, and your host, Drew Mandel. The Illegal Curve post-game show starts now.
Is it good morning? Good morning, Winnipeg. Good morning, Manitoba. And for all of those joining us live anywhere on the interweb, good morning to you and welcome to the Illegal Curve post-game show. As you can tell, those are not the dulcet tones of Drew Mandel, but instead they are Dave Minuk's words. And I'm joined by my main man, Ezzy Ginsburg.
What's up, Dave?
We'll be not much, Ezzy. We're solidly past midnight, so we're into the morning hour following what was a less than ideal day for the pro clubs of Manitoba as the Jets lose, the Moose lose. The only team that seems to be doing well right now are the Winnipeg Ice. But of course, this is the Illegal Curve post-game show breaking down the Jets game, so we'll keep our focus on that. The Jets, Ezzy, went into San Jose, a team that hadn't won in 9 games. Remember, coincidentally, the last time the Jets won was the Sharks won. Feels like the last time the Jets won too, but the last time the Sharks had won was when they came into Winnipeg and stole that game 3-2 in overtime. Since then, 9 losses, but 6 of them in regulation, 3 of them in extra time. As I illustrated it because I thought it was remarkable and I think it's worth pointing out. But just to point out the Sharks team and James Reimer, you can say whatever you want about James Reimer. These are the games that San Jose has played in the month of March where they've given up goals. 6 to the Blues, 8 to the Caps, 2 to the Jets, 6 to the Avs, 4 to the Blues, 5 to the Wild, 6 to the Jackets, 2 to the Kraken. They still lost that game. 4 to the Isles, 5 to the Oilers, 7 to the Canucks, and 5 to the Flames. Oh, and Ezzy, by the way, the Predators won. The Flames won. The Flames are getting hot. Lots is going on. How are you, my friend?
I'm good. This is my problem. You're right, Dave. They're 32nd in the league. 3 of their last 6 games, though, they've gone to overtime or a shootout.
Yeah.
This is still a team that has Erik Karlsson, Thomas Hertl, Logan Couture, Kevin Labanc. And if the Sharks are that bad, what does that make the Jets?
Terrible.
Right? So take that out of the equation. Everybody was talking about yes, everybody knows the Sharks are the worst team in the league. Everybody knows that if you have those 4 points, put it this way, you're 6 points up on the Calgary Flames right now, as opposed to being 2 points up, right? So if you're 6 points up with 7 games left, right? The Jets have 7 games or 8 games left.
Yeah, it'd be over.
Right?
Basically.
It would be over. So I'm not disputing those are facts, Dave, unlike what Donald Trump likes to use. No, I'm just kidding.
As Bruce Willis said in Die Hard 2, Ezzy, just the facts.
I'm not going to get into that, but yeah, exactly. Those are the numbers, right? James Reimer's not having a great year, but he's had a great year against the Jets, right? And, leaving all the other stuff aside that he was involved in, because obviously we don't agree with that. And we absolutely 100% support Pride Night and the LGBTQ plus community, but he was unbelievable tonight, right? And you could look at just the third period, right? Josh Morrissey on the 2-on-1 where it looked like he was looking for the rebound there. Adam Lowry, he puts in a nice move, shorthanded. He can't score. I mean, we all remember what happened in the second period with Mason Appleton. I still really don't know how Mason Appleton doesn't score on that chance. It was an incredible save. So yes, Reimer was incredible. You could say that the Jets got goalied. You could say that, again, the power play let them down. But this is just inexcusable, Dave. And we're going to get into the goals. And obviously, the second goal, is going to be talked about a lot when you're referencing this game, because Mark Scheifele you just can't do that in game 75 of an 82 game season. And that was a must-win game. I realized Remus and Huss were saying that, these are
can't lose
games.
Yeah.
They're must-win games. You got to win these games here. You're only 2 points up on Calgary. You're only 3 points up on Nashville. And, oh, by the way, Nashville has 2 games in hand, right? So to me, it's ridiculous that, the Jets can't seem to beat, these teams that are much below them in terms of skill level, everything, right?
Yeah.
So, and, we'll get into it. But again, what is going on with the forward lines? Nikolai Ehlers has got to be playing more when you're searching for offense. Like, all due respect to Vladislav Nemesnikov,
Yeah.
like, and he had a good game. And I'm not, crapping on Nemesnikov here, because
Sure.
I think that he's been good. Like, he's been a good trade deadline acquisition for the Jets, and they didn't have to give up much to get him, right? So, but you got to be playing Ehlers more. And I just like the Ehlers, Lowry, Appleton line, like that just isn't a line to me that you can put out there in game 75 of a season in which you've fallen to the second wild card spot, and you could easily now fall into ninth place if you don't beat the Red Wings on Friday. Like, that's what the Jets are looking at here, right? Like, the Jets now fall out of a playoff spot. So yeah, I mean, the Jets badly outshot the Sharks, but I mean, this is following a common trend, Dave, that we've seen here in the second half of the season, where the Jets put up a lot of shots. The other goaltender looks like, he's Dominic Hasek or Marty Brodeur.
Yeah.
And, the Jets shoot themselves in the foot with a bad turnover. They can't score in the power play. It's like, it's just the same script over and over again. And it's just unacceptable.
No, you're absolutely right, Ezzy. And look, you're past the time for moral victories. I know they were saying that, oh, well, this is good and you can take this forward. You run the runway, we'll talk about Jets and runway. Eventually you run out of runway. And you're already past that point in the season where you get to say, hey, this is like we talked about, Ezzy. And I went back and looked. It wasn't actually just in game 30, because the Jets actually won 6 of 10 of the next. So basically up until game 40, the Jets were fine. You know what I mean? I think that their record was like 26, 13 and 1 or something.
Comfortably in second behind Dallas.
Yeah, that's right. And so the Jets were fine really to the midpoint of the season. But again, that's no longer the case. The Jets are not winning hockey games anymore. And because the Jets are not winning hockey games, your time for moral victories. And I put this out there and it seemed to resonate because I got a lot of people, interacting with the tweet. But Ezzy, I mean, and it's not like it's my idea and I got to like copyright. I went down to the copyright office and said, this is a uniquely Dave Minuk idea. Kind of like all these NFL teams trying to brand the cities that they're like copyright, or no, maybe it's baseball, but they're trying to copyright the names of the cities. Like, guys, okay, chill. But like Connor, Ehlers, Dubois, like say it with me, Ezzy.
Rick Bowness won't do it. He won't do it. It almost seems like at this point he's going to go with every single line combination but that line combination. Honestly, though, like just looking at Ehlers, Lowry, and Appleton, like, to me, that just is a mishmash of players. Like Ehlers has to be in your top 6 at this point, regardless if that's the first line or the second line or 1A, 1B, whatever. He's got to get more ice time. What did he end up with tonight, Dave? It was below 15 minutes, I believe.
It was about 13 minutes. I think Phyllis just had it up on the screen.
Yeah,
and
like,
as he looked,
I don't get that.
He had 7 at one point.
Get it.
They ran him in the third. They ran him in the third because I think after 40, if I recall correctly, Phyllis will correct me. And by the way, before I forget, Kenny's water bottle. I don't know if you saw my tweet, but just to show you how this show has now completely taken over mine, Ezzy's and Drew's life. I was driving in traffic the other day, actually going to see Joe from Winnipeg to deliver him his IC, or not the IC merch, but his merch that he won in the contest. And on my way to see Joe from Winnipeg, I was driving behind this car and the license plate said KWB. And instantly, Ezzy, I thought, Kenny's water bottle. And I thought, what is wrong with me? That's what I think of when I see KWB. It wasn't, in fact, Kenny's water bottle as far as I could tell, but that just goes to show you the
Do we know what KWB stands for? Like, I have no idea. Like, I was thinking.
No. It was just it was a regular license plate. It wasn't like even a personalized one. But I'm just saying,
it wasn't like a legal curve or anything.
If you see a legal curve driving around Winnipeg, if
you see the ILGLCRV on the back of a 2013 Sentra, the Big Daddy's driving.
That one that says illegal curve in full, I had that one made. That's just a fake. But Ezzy's the real thing, and KWB is not Kenny Water's bottle. But I just wanted everyone to know that made me think of this show, and just
Kinsman Wonder Bread. I'm not sure.
No, it wasn't personalized. There were numbers behind it, Ezzy. I wasn't going to out the person, but anywho, let's get back on track because I don't want to sidebar too much. But look, this is no longer the look. There's so many things that we could talk about. The lines, the fact that Rick Bowness's idea of getting this back on track was to take Nikolai Ehlers off the second line or the first. I don't really care. As Pascal Vincent said, lines don't really matter. It's really about the ice time. And then put him on with Lowry and Appleton. And it's funny because Scott Billick, our friend from the Winnipeg Sun, had made some comment about this being a demotion. And I kind of cheekily tweeted back at him and said, well, maybe it's a promotion. Maybe it'll elicit more ice time. And we didn't see that in the ice throughout the course of this game. And again, he picked up a little bit more in the third. But the fact is that, number one, the lines. And again, like I said, when you needed to have success, it just doesn't make any sense to me why Rick Bowness is resisting unless the players are revolting. But who gives a shit, because you're the coach. You make the decisions. Your head's the one that's on the line if this doesn't go over well. And ultimately, it's not going over well. It just isn't, unfortunately. So like the Jets need to figure that out. They need to get control over it right now, because it's not working, number one. And as number two is the fact that like the power play is abysmal. It's just abysmal. And I'm sorry, like you cannot be, what were they? It's the last 7 games. They have 1 goal on a 5-minute major. And I think they're like,
and it was at the end of a 5-minute major.
And they're
30 seconds left.
0 for 28, 0 for 29
something
overall.
Like and going back to what you said about the lines, Dave,
yeah,
I wrote them down here. What they essentially did was they just switched. It was obviously Scheifele, Wheeler, and Nemestikov. So what they did was they switched Scheifele and Ehlers. So the lines became Connor, Scheifele, Dubois, Ehlers, Nemestikov, Wheeler, and then Niederreiter moved down to play with Lowry and Appleton. And obviously, provided a little bit of a spark. Like, Ehlers was shooting the puck. Connor was shooting the puck. We talked about, he had good scoring chances. Scheifele didn't get his shots until the third period. He wasn't great, I didn't think, even though I thought I was going to come up with a good prediction there and he was going to score 2 goals. I mean, that was wishful thinking, obviously. I can't predict the future, but it's unbelievable that you knew that was going to happen, Dave. Like, you knew that Ehlers, first off, if it was going to last a game, it was probably only going to be a game or two. Like, I don't know what is that sending a message. Like, does Rick Bowness actually think that gives his team the best chance to win? That's what I want to know. Because if it doesn't, then why are you doing that, right? So, like, it's kind of mind-boggling. On Saturday's show, I said that it kind of defies logic at this point that this Jets team is having so much trouble scoring goals, especially on the power play, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you need Nick Ehlers to be touching the puck, shooting the puck, getting his opportunities, and burying him on the third line is not the way to do it.
No, it absolutely isn't. And again, it's just like you're probably your most dynamic player. I'm not saying your most talented player, but one of your most dynamic, and having him play in a game where it was clear. Like, I mean, I don't care. Again, 39 shots, that's fantastic, or whatever the final number was. But at the end of the day, you're not, I'll go and look at all the high danger and all that stuff but like to me, the Jets just needed to do something different. And we've talked about it. It's not as if we're saying something, again, I'm going to go back to this point I made. It's not like we're saying something about, and again, it's not about Nikolai Ehlers being the savior. The whole point is that Dubois and Connor, like it's the entire line, the entire top 6, none of them are producing. None of them are scoring. This isn't about Nikolai Ehlers somehow going in there and saving the day. But we're talking about going back to something that seemed to work for this Jets group for a significant period of time. And the numbers, the analytics, the eye test, I don't care what metric you'd like to use to analyze that, it worked. And it worked for this Jets team for a significant period of time. And we talked about it. It said, okay, well, you can go back. You have the muscle memory. You need that muscle memory, because right now you're like that. Remember that 1960s cartoon where you were like that little weak, scrawny kid, and then you were supposed to do the workouts and then he wouldn't be able to push sand. That's actually what we used to do to Drew. We'd push sand in his face. That's what the bully would do. But then you get big. Well, the bully's beating the crap out of you right now if you're the Winnipeg Jets.
And Drew never got big.
No, that's true. That is true. So again, it's the power play. It's the effort level from this team. It's a lot of things. It's not
let's just exactly. And just picking up on that, Dave, because I agree with you, right? Like they were getting, like, you look at the possession. I think I when I checked, it was 17-15 high danger chances at even strength for the Jets.
Okay, there you go.
The possession was controlled by the Jets every period. Mm-hmm. They had all the shots. So what? You lost the game 3-0. And again, you got to give a lot of credit to James Reimer. And I saw, a few post talking about, a few comments talking about Josh Morrissey hit the post and this and that. But like at the end of the day, they're not getting goals, right? And it is, frustrating. And I imagine, the leaders of this team are frustrated. Like, you don't think Adam Lowry wanted to score that shorthanded goal? And it was a good save by Reimer, and it was a good shot by Lowry, right? And Morrissey's doing his best on the 2-on-1. But I just, like, even though you get a lot of shots, was there a lot of sustained pressure? Like, was this the best that the Jets had to offer? I don't think this was the best the Jets had to offer. And you got to ask yourself, in game 75, when you're trying to fight off, well, you're fighting them off, but you're not doing a very good job at it because they keep Calgary, Nashville, they keep inching closer and closer. You're going to get Calgary and Nashville coming up next week in Winnipeg. So that's going to be very interesting. But I think the point we're trying to make is, just looking at these 2 San Jose games that the Jets lost, there's 4 points right there that give you,
and 2 against Columbus, Ezzy.
Well, and 2 against Columbus, right? So yeah, the
teams
Jets,
that are more interested in Connor Bedard than gaining points in the standings.
Exactly. So I mean, I think you saw a lot of urgency in the third period. I just again didn't see that throughout the game, and it again looks like a team that is kind of struggling with their emotions. Like, this is a bad funk. Like, I get it. Like, these guys want to win, they want to make the playoffs, but sometimes their play on the ice doesn't reflect that, and to me, that's really concerning.
No, you're absolutely right. And thank you, everybody. We're well into the Illegal Curve post-game show. I'm Dave Minuk. He's Ezzy Ginsberg, and we're here with all of you in the chat. There's a lot of you. It's 12:30 at night, but there's over 330 of you right now fired up. The chat is fired up. So make sure while you're fired up, you're doing while the fire's above my head and the fire's in Ezzy's belly because he's drinking some Fireball.
Can somebody bring me no, I'm not drinking Fireball. I'm drinking Diet Coke, but I was going to ask somebody who's in River Heights in the chat, come bring me a coffee. I'm going to need one here. Like, this is a late one.
This is a late one, but Ezzy, everybody's with us. We've got
Maybe
a live.
Bailey can bring me some Baileys.
Well, hopefully Bailey's asleep because Bailey, the intern, shouldn't be up this late.
I see Bailey right here.
Oh, did you? I'm sorry. You must be either behind me or Bailey. Well done for staying up this late. It's a school night.
That late.
Oh no, it's spring break. It's spring break.
That's spring
Bailey's
break,
good.
Dave.
Bailey's good. All right. All right. Good. Never mind. I'm not trying to give Bailey a lecture. Welcome, Bailey. You're good to stick around and be part of the Illegal Curve.
Uncle Dave was about to give a lecture there.
But anyways, we appreciate everyone joining us and spending your Wednesday morning here on the Illegal Curve post-game show. And like I said, make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you're subscribing and make sure you ring that bell to turn on notifications. That way, each and every single time we go live here on the Illegal Curve post-game show or Saturday mornings on the Illegal Curve hockey show. Okay, let's get into it.
Sorry, I just saw nothing. Go ahead. Some of these comments.
Hey, Ezzy, there's nothing better than a Ginsberg segue, so go ahead.
No. There's no segue. I'm trying to catch up with all the comments here. There's so many good ones.
There's so many good comments. This is one of those shows where I miss Mindell because I could be monitoring the chat and of course dropping that onto the into the screen. But anyways, is
it Lowry and Morrissey's birthday today?
No, I don't know why Bailey. I don't really pay attention to when players'
Morrissey's
birthdays
I guess technically yesterday, but
yes,
Tuesday.
Yeah,
it was JMO's 27th.
I don't know. I know Dustin Byfuglien turned 38 the other day. Let me tell. Sorry, I'm going to do a quick aside. Please indulge me since Ezzy just segued. I'm going to quickly do this because first of all, we're going to give a shout out to Jeff Gustafson of Lake of the Woods.
Sorry, I just before you continue, Morrissey's 28.
Okay, fair enough.
28th.
Anyways, yeah. Jeff Gustafson of Lake of the Woods won what I was told was the Super Bowl of bass fishing tournaments. And the reason why I'm bringing this into the conversation is because Dustin Byfuglien and Jeff was actually on with Winnipeg Sports Talk today and told a funny story about how Byfuglien was in Florida with his family on holidays, found out, I guess he's buddies with all these guys from Lake of the Woods that fish out in Lake of the Woods. And so he flew over to Tennessee for the bass fishing tournament, in flip-flops, sandals, and flip-flops, shorts, and a t-shirt, and just started hanging out with everybody. And I'm telling you right now, there's no doubt in my mind is the Jeff Cable says that Gustin is the voice in the room the Jets need. Well, people love to be on the Gus bus, so maybe it's a different Gus
Winnipeg
bus.
Sports Talk, they had him on today.
Yes, but what I was going to say is that there is no question I post anything about Dustin Byfuglien as, you know this. I posted on our Facebook. Our Facebook usually gets like some likes, whatever. 3,000 likes. Posted on our Instagram. Over that, like it's unbelievable how much this team, how much this city loves that guy. There is no question. I don't care, but like I'm not talking about Jets 2.0, 1.0. Jets 2.0, it is not even close to how much that guy is elevated above every other. I used to think it was like Byfuglien then Laine, but it's not even close. Byfuglien is next level. Anyways, that was a fun little segue. Sorry, I had to get it in. But if you didn't get a chance to see it, you can go to the Illegal Curve Facebook page or go to the Illegal Curve Instagram. You can check that out. Oh, thank you, sports fan, for giving us a few shekels. He wrote, hopefully Chipman raises concession prices for the remaining home games. Something pathetic. Whoa, that's a harsh comment, but hey, people are angry, and that's just the reality, Ezzy. People are angry, and not angry with us, thankfully. Okay, let's throw to our sponsor. The Betway Game Recap is brought to you by our friends at Betway, Ezzy, one of the most trusted voices in sports betting, both in Canada and all around the world. Betway is a sports betting app that puts you, the customer, at the forefront. With a large selection of betting options in sports, as well as strong promotions and fair odds, Ezra, what are you waiting for? Head on over to Betway and bet your way. You must be 19 years or older to play, and as I always tell you, please play responsibly. Well, responsible wasn't what I would say was the Winnipeg Jets, because for the umpteenth time this season, and especially of late, as the Jets give up the first goal of the game. And it was Noah Gregor who scored his 5th of the season, and it made it a 1-0 game for San Jose. And the Jets are behind the 8 ball right away. Well, not right away, but 10 minutes into the game.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I mean, the Jets have been giving up the first goal, 12 of the last 14 games. And, look, this is an aggressive forecheck. And, it's just, in my opinion, Noah Gregor's way too, I shouldn't say he's way too open, but I think there's the Jets have numbers back, and, it's just a nice pass by Peterson to Noah Gregor in front of the net. Noah Gregor isn't a guy that, you're circling on the lineup and expecting to have to shut him down. He's been a kind of a veteran journeyman player, but yeah, it was a little bit of running around in the Jet zone. But again, kind of to me, the way, at least I'm watching the replay here, Dave, and just nice little backhand pass by Peterson. And it was Pionk and Dillon out there, or was it Sandberg? I forget. But yeah, I mean, it was a nice play, but I think, it's a preventable goal in terms of the defensive coverage in front of the net.
Well, and as again, it's just another situation where the Jets, do themselves a disservice by trying to chase and having to chase a hockey game against the Sharks team that came in with no confidence. And again, minus 77 goal differential this season. And I understand that any team can win, in theory, any game on any given night. But for the Sharks, that's not true. The Sharks have only beaten the Winnipeg Jets twice. They're the only teams they've beaten. And I agree with you. They have had some games go to extra time, but the Jets are the only team that they've been able to beat in March. They have one more game, I believe, against Detroit, maybe. But other than that, that's it. And so look, and the one thing also is that the Jets aren't able to do. They're not able to score on the power play. And I know we talked about the power play and the frustration with the power play. And I know that Murat, who is in California on this road trip, was asked by someone whether Brad Lauer was back on the ice or on behind the bench. I don't believe he was on the ice. I don't know if he was on the bench. I didn't really look for him on the television. I didn't notice, because as you pointed out on Twitter, those were hell of a good camera angles today on TSN.
So it was actually, yeah, the camera work was horrible. I'm just looking at the replay one more time. It was because I needed to know. It was Brendan Dillon and Dylan DeMello out there. So DeMello was a little bit kind of caught in no man's land. I thought, like, he just wasn't picking up anyone really. And Noah Gregor, again, he's right in front of the net. He's parked right in front of Connor Hellebuck, and it's a nice pass. But again, what I'm saying here is it wasn't an odd man situation. Like, the Jets had the even strength situation numbers. So again, yeah, like they allow the first goal, but it's one goal. Like, again, like, to me, that's not the focus here. The focus is the entirety of the game, right? Mm-hmm. And the Jets continue to struggle to score goals, especially on the power play. And they lack, I think, the ability to score goals in ways in which, players like Mark Scheifele and Kyle Connor and Nikolai Ehlers don't necessarily want to score goals, right? Like we've talked about it. Like you saw Scheifele driving the net a little bit. You remember those chances, Saku Manalainen and Kevin Stenlund had chances in the first period, but like it's few and far between. And again, like we're talking about a must-win game here, and forget the Jets record and forget the Sharks record and everything like that. You lost 3-0 to a team that you're much better than. I mean, that team was half San Jose Barracuda.
Well, absolutely. And the crowd looked like it was a San Jose Barracuda crowd. And I feel bad because San Jose for years has had a fantastic crowd, but they're staying away until this team improves a little bit right now, because things are a little bit bleak in Sharks land, unless of course the Jets are coming and you're going to steal their Wi-Fi and airport with your wins against them. But again, the power play, which has been they've had the opportunities, right? The end of the first period, they had a chance to get back into this game, only down by 1. And yet,
one more thing, Dave, like how much of this is mental? Like I really think that needs to be discussed a little bit more. Like it's almost like the Jets have lost the game before it even starts sometimes, right? Like
that's a fair no, and that's some of the things that I'm seeing in the chat. And I'm sorry, folks, I am trying to highlight your questions. The chat is fast and furious. There's a lot of folks in with us at 12:35 a.m. here in Winnipeg. Yet the folks are all with Ezzy and I. Maybe it's because there's no Mindell. We hit the kill button on his computer, so he ain't here. But the reality is, this is there's no question about it, Ezzy, that the folks in the chat and you and I are talking about it. The power play is just a killer. It has been.
We've never seen anything like this in the 12 years we've been doing this show.
Yep.
I guess we've been doing it for 14 years, but the Jets have been back for 12. You know what I meant?
Yeah, of course.
In the 12 years we've been covering this Jets 2.0 team, there hasn't been anything close to this. And I don't know if I've ever seen a team in the 30 plus years I've watched hockey that has struggled like this on the power play, and especially with the talent. Like that's the strength of this Jets team. The strength of the team is their top 9, right? Especially now that they've got Nino Niederreiter and Vladislav Nemestikov. Obviously, you would love to see, Cole Perfetti out there as well. And I think he would help the power play. But even Cole Perfetti, he's not Gretzky, right? Like he's not going to if he comes back, he's not going to score a hat trick every game, including 2 goals on the power play, right? So there is something that is really, I use the word rotten, with this team, because it's not 1 or 2 guys. Like, and I saw on social media, some people were saying that, Mark Scheifele is getting too much of the criticism. He's got an A on his jersey. He's one of the highest paid guys on the team. And I don't know, and I hope that, nothing's going on off the ice, or if he's dealing with an injury. We don't know. We haven't heard anything. It's always possible. But you can't, I'll say this much though. That this is hurting him. Like, I don't think, this is him giving up on the team. I don't think, anything like that. I think the puck is just not going in for him. What is it, 9 games now for Scheif, right? That he hasn't scored a goal.
Something like that, yeah.
But for me, you can't take the human element of the game. And we've talked about it. And a lot of people are pointing to, when he was getting benched. We talked about that on the Saturday morning show, Dave. There's no doubt that he has not reacted well to being benched, along with Connor and Nemestikov. There's no doubt about that. But all I'm saying is you can't take the human element, and he looks like a guy that is going through something to me. And maybe I'm wrong, but he just looks like somebody to me that is having a tough time on the ice and isn't having fun. And this is a guy who loves hockey. Like, he eats, breathes, and everything like that, right, Dave? So I just hope that, he's able to turn it around and, get back into a positive mind frame, because this is not the Mark Scheifele we've watched since he came into the NHL. Like, it's not the same guy we're watching that dominated that Predators team in the 2018 playoffs and, has been a point per game player and everything like that. I think it's tough to watch right now. It's tough to watch the Jets power play, but it's specifically tough to watch how much Scheifele is struggling to not score.
Well, and Ezzy, isn't it ironic that this is a guy who is poised to have a career year for goals scored? And that's why I don't lay the blame only on Mark Scheifele. It is on the shoulders of Blake Wheeler. It is on the shoulders of Kyle Connor. It is on the shoulders of Pierre-Luc Dubois. Like, these are your big guns. Your big guns are paid your big bucks, and they're supposed to deliver. These are the horses. These are the guys you ride. Well, if that's your reality, none of them are pulling their weight. And I understand Pierre-Luc Dubois missed, 8 of 10 games, but like, you want to be the guy, in Montreal, or you want to be the guy here in Winnipeg, wherever it is. I mean, you're not being it. Like, you're not Kyle Connor. I mean, it's unusual because he's been he's been the model of consistency throughout the course of his career, but he's not doing it.
And what did he end up with, Dave? I'd have to check here, but he had some really good scoring chances from the slot. Here, I'm checking right now. I would guess he had a 3 or 4 shots. I don't know. Here, he had 4 shots. Thank you, NHL.com. Shout out to Jake Stoller. Great to see Jake Stoller watching the post-game show here. Longtime friend of IC. It's really tough. Like, it just seems like there's a little less mustard on his shot, Dave, or something. Like, it's just like
they're getting like barbecue sauce or something.
Yeah, or maybe Worcestershire sauce, something like that. But no, I mean, it's really confounding that a team with this many snipers, like we talked about it recently, right? Like, Scheifele's got 38 goals.
Yeah,
he hasn't had a goal in his last 9 games. Connor's got 28 goals. Like, this team has a lot of, like, Nino Niederreiter. He came in and he was scoring a little bit. That's dried up a little bit, right?
Absolutely.
We talked about Lowry. He's been playing a lot better. He's been scoring again. But tonight, it's really inexplicable that you can't score a single goal against the worst team in the league. It really is. And I guess I just used it there, Dave. But, I mean, regardless of what team you're playing, you're not going to win a lot of games, not scoring a goal, right? And, yeah, again, we talked about it. You can point to the Josh Morrissey, post, and, the Jets aren't getting the bounces and everything like that. But, it's been weeks and weeks of this where the Jets are struggling to score goals. And a lot of it has to fall on, the guys that get paid the big bucks, the guys in the top 6. I mean, you can't expect a ton of offense from Kevin Stenlund and Saku Maanalainen, even though they had a good scoring chance in the first period and James Reimer was up to the task, right? So I guess we should get into the second goal here, Dave. But just overall really frustrating, the fact that the Jets offense just has dried up completely.
It has gone away. And, the second goal, as he's going to take us a while, because that second period didn't create a second goal. It didn't create a goal for the Sharks. It didn't create a goal for the Winnipeg Jets. Was there anything in the second period that stood out to you? Anything remarkable that you think, okay, well, that was something that was noteworthy and worth discussing? Because, nothing jumped out at me other than, again, the frustration that you're watching. And again, Phyllis, correct me if I'm wrong, but the ice time disparity just seemed rather unusual. And again, like I don't see it from Blake Wheeler. I understand that Blake Wheeler, and like, to me, the ice time's reverse. You get Blake Wheeler less ice time, reduce it, and maybe Blake Wheeler gets going a little bit with some fresher legs. And you've got a bench. That's the other thing right now. If you want, then throw someone else off your bench, because David Gustafsson, Axel Jonsson-Fjällby, bring up Jansen Harkins, bring up Jeff Malott, bring up any of these guys who are hungry from the AHL. But right now, this team is just, it doesn't have it going on.
Yeah, and it's not like a Boston Bruins situation, right? Like, Dregs was talking about this. I don't know if it was during the broadcast, I forget, about the Taylor Hall situation in Boston, right? Taylor Hall apparently is ready to come
situation.
back.
Yeah.
Right? For those who don't know, but the Bruins, I don't know if it's because of the moves they made at the trade deadline or just overall their cap. They're unable to get Taylor Hall in, right? So it might not be until the playoffs that, luckily, the Bruins have a lot of other good players. They have a few guys, I've been told, even though they lost tonight. But
sources confirm your assessment there, Ezzy.
Right. So it's not like it's a cap issue here. So I'm not sure, what.
No, it is. I think it is a cap issue I think because remember, you still have to be cap compliant. So I think that's the problem, is that based on the cap in Boston, I don't think.
No, I'm talking about for the Jets.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I said, David.
That's what I thought. Yeah, okay.
It is a cap problem in Boston. I'm saying for the Jets, it's not an issue.
Gotcha.
You don't have enough money to call up a Jansen Harkins or
no, because Kevin Cheveldayoff made sure he saved that money, so he wouldn't have to worry about it.
Exactly. So I'm not sure. It doesn't. I mean, look, maybe they will for the homestand, Dave. I have absolutely no idea. It's a little bit late in the game for that, if you ask me, right? Like, you probably should have done that a week ago or 2 weeks ago. But in terms of the second period, look, I mean, there was one penalty that that Stenlund took. They killed that off. There were some good, decent scoring chances, but no, I mean, look at you again were shut out on the road against the worst team in the league when you had to come back, and you had to have show something for that game when you lost badly to the LA Kings, right? And you don't, and it's really disappointing. And look, I still think the Jets have a good shot at making the playoffs. But now again, it goes back to what we've talked about before. You keep making it harder on yourselves, and you're making it so that you don't control your own destiny, and you're possibly going to be hoping for the Nashville Predators to lose games. And even though the Predators sold a lot of players at the trade deadline, obviously the horrific tragedy that happened in Nashville, you don't think that the Predators are going to rally around that?
Mm-hmm. That's a good point.
So I mean, and even without that terrible tragedy, they're professionals. I mean, they're close to the Jets now. They want to finish the season strong. You don't think these guys want to go into the playoffs? You don't think a guy like Tyson Barrie, who was traded from the Edmonton Oilers for Matthias Ekholm, you don't think a guy like that is motivated? Or other players on the team, who basically were told, you aren't very good, and we're gonna trade players, and you're gonna be basically a lame duck team. So the Jets still have some work to do, right? Like starting on Friday against Detroit.
They do indeed. And I think they're going to fly home probably tomorrow, and they will be off tomorrow, practice Thursday. And then, like you said, as he be back in action on Friday. Just a reminder, you are listening to the Illegal Curve post-game show. I am Dave Minuk. He is Ezzy Ginsberg. And if you can, all of you, we appreciate you joining us late, or I should say early on your Wednesday morning, and smash that like button when you get a chance. And of course, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you're subscribing, because that's what we appreciate you doing. And as just to really illustrate it in the frustration that folks have with the lack of scoring for this Jets club, they've been shut out 3 times in the last 7 games. Once by the Bruins. Okay, that one you can give them a little bit of latitude. They're the Bruins. Although the Bruins lost to the Predators tonight. But they shut out by the Bruins, shut out by the Blues, and now shut out by the Sharks. So it's a lot of being shut out, and the Jets are going to be shut out from the playoffs if they keep up this
Joel Hofer should have got a shutout. That still bothers me. Maybe it's because he's from Winnipeg, and I feel like he'll probably get a shutout eventually, but it doesn't sit well with me that so Greiss comes in for 2 minutes and Hofer doesn't get the shutout.
Yeah,
it's stupid.
Yeah. It's kind of like when in baseball where they have a perfect game, but they share the perfect game.
No,
so you could. No, I'm saying that's what they do in baseball, right? Like
No, but I'm just saying, like you would agree that one pitcher is more responsible for that perfect game usually, right?
Generally speaking,
usually he plays like 7 innings or 8 innings, right?
Yeah. Woo, okay, well, we're still rolling along here, even though it's funny, Ezzy, there haven't been a lot of goals, but we're now into the third period. So Kevin Labanc, 2 minutes,
into it.
23 seconds into the second.
Mr. Contract in a drawer.
Yeah, let me tell you, that contract is still one that is a curious one, and it's one that we all believe was some crafty work, let's say, by the Sharks. At least it looked crafty, but now that the way the Sharks are going, who cares about that? But the reality is, Kevin Labanc goes to the bank, puts his 13th goal in past Connor Hellebuyck, assists to Sturm and Gregor, so he has a 2-point night. But look, I mean, again, sloppy defense from this team.
Yeah, it absolutely. Sorry, Dave. I wasn't sure if you were done there. Yeah, you're right.
It was a bit of an abrupt end. I'm sorry about that, as I didn't really I just kind of stopped and stared.
Good, Dave. Yeah, no, but so it's Scheifele and Wheeler. Wheeler leaves it for Scheifele on the right boards, and then he just absolutely loses the puck, right? And it's inexcusable. Again, like it's absolutely inexcusable. It was you mentioned it was Noah Gregor that stole the puck from him, but it's also, to me, what bothers me, Dave, is the back check. That's what bothers me, or just his effort to get the puck back from Noah Gregor. That's what probably bothers me the most about Scheifele on this play. Yes, it's a giveaway, right? Like Scheifele doesn't get the puck out. He's obviously he's trying to probably just move the puck along the boards there. And yeah, the puck, I mean, it's an ugly goal, right? Like it's an absolutely ugly goal that's scored by Labanc. But I didn't like Scheifele's effort after he loses the puck to Noah Gregor. I just think he could have given him more of an effort to get the puck back. And again, like you look at these goals, and it seems like there's 1 or 2 goals every single game that come off of turnovers. The Jets' margin for error, because they're not scoring a lot of goals, is so thin that all of these goals, you could go back the last 20 games, and in 15 of those 20 games, there's probably an egregious error, and that was an egregious error. In that type of situation, you can't get your pocket picked like that in your own zone.
Well, and again, the other thing that the Jets are doing, and it's a really bad habit, and I'm surprised. Again, Rick Bowness is one of the things that he should be recognizing and preventing. Way too long shifts. It's just like, what's the idea? Remember the idea of like short shifts, and it's this, part of the problem is allowing the power play 1, if you can call it that. These should both be power play 5, but whatever they're called, you should, like, again, they're minute 15, minute 30. And then the other unit gets 20 seconds, 30 seconds. And sometimes, there's no value to staying on. Obviously, there's situations where you can't get off. You have to stay on a little bit longer. These guys are staying on way too long. And you can see it. You can see it in their energy level. They just don't have it. And they're trying to create something that's just not there. And so, and that goes to your idea of caring and wanting to succeed. But at the end of the day, you're doing yourself and your team a disservice because you're not putting yourself and thus your team in an optimal situation, right? And so as a result, the Jets found themselves down 2-0. And honestly, even though it was early in that in the third period, there was no indication from this Winnipeg Jets team. In fact, the irony was, and it worked. Actually, my words were correct. It was kind of a Ginsburg guarantee, if you will. But when the Jets took the penalty, I think it was the Josh Morrissey one. I said the Jets probably have a better chance scoring at 5-on-5, they're shorthanded, than they do at 5-on-5 or 5-on-4. And then, of course, Adam Lowry gets a shorthanded chance.
That used to be a joke. It's not a joke anymore.
I know. And then Kyle Connor got a shorthanded chance. So you're thinking to yourself, the Jets actually could have half the lead, or half the deficit, on the shorthanded opportunities. But, with their own chances, they just didn't have it. And then it burns them because, with 2 minutes and 3 seconds to go on the penalty to Josh Morrissey, Connor Hellebuyck, he was in another time zone from when this shot went off the stick and into the back of the net and made it a 3-0 game, because he was well out of position. I'm not saying that it really mattered at that point, but Connor Hellebuyck was, like I said, he was in another time zone on that opportunity for the Sharks.
Yeah, he was obviously overcommitted, but the entire defense was overcommitted, right? Like Martin Kaut, who I think was only drafted 2 or 3 years ago. I think he was a first-round pick, Dave. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'd have to go back and look. But Martin Kaut is just, this is an easy goal for him. Like, Thomas Hertl draws all of the Jets penalty killers to him. Martin Kaut is just, hanging out at the bottom of the faceoff.
He was, as he just, sorry to interrupt, he was a 2018 first rounder of the Avalanche.
Yeah, German, right?
The Germans.
German, yeah. So
maybe, or Czech. He might be Czech, actually.
Oh, Czech. Okay. Okay, I'm wrong on both accounts. Then I got the nationality wrong and the year that he was drafted. We didn't go to the 2018 draft.
Hey, Ezzy, you got him in 2018. That was, you said he was a first rounder.
Yeah, that was the draft in Dallas, right?
Correct. That was the first time we didn't go to a draft.
Yeah, that's correct. 2017 was the last one for me. Maybe we'll go this year. Even though the Jets don't have a high pick, but they do have a first rounder. So, again, I thought that power play by the Sharks looked bad. Didn't look bad. Like, again, Erik Karlsson, Thomas Hertl, like, these are world-class players. Karlsson's going to win the Norris. I realize that Josh Morrissey, was in contention, and I think Morrissey can still be a finalist, but come on. I mean, he's got 90 points. 90. Yeah. So he could still hit 100. Maybe not with the supporting cast, but he'll probably get close to it, right? So yeah, I mean, Hellebuyck was way out of position, but the Jets, and give Hertl credit for drawing the Jets, and nobody picks up Martin Kaut, and he's wide open, like I said, at the bottom of the faceoff circle, and it's a wide open net. So I mean, that was obviously the killer. But Kevin Labank's goal for me was the killer, because with the way the Jets have been struggling offensively, a 2-0 deficit in the third period, with how fragile the Jets are these days. But that one was just adding insult to injury, Dave.
Yeah, and someone pointed out the app. We missed the Appleton chance where Reimer made that.
We talked about that.
No, I know, but I'm
early.
saying like, I'm just
That was
reflecting.
was that not in the second period?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that was the second period.
Yeah.
So again, that was like, you asked me what stood out. I mean, I guess I forgot about that, but
we mentioned it early, but I just say we didn't mention it early.
It was an amazing chance. I mean, Reimer makes an incredible stick save on the ice, and it was a hard shot by Appleton. So could you say that Appleton should have elevated it? I mean, Appleton's an NHL player. What am I going to say, right? Like, it's easy for me to say that Appleton should have scored there, but it was an incredible save by Reimer. And even though Reimer's got a sub 900 save percentage, he's still an NHL starting goalie, right? Like, so I don't know how deep you can analyze that, right? Like, the Jets had scoring chances this game, even in the third period. We talked about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kyle Connor, Josh Morrissey on the 2-on-1, Adam Lowry on the partial breakaway shorthanded. The Jets had their scoring chances, and they could not bury them. And that's the story. And it's like, again, like a broken record. We keep talking about this night after night, game after game. But I mean, really, the Jets, the lack of finishing is at this point just really difficult to talk about anymore, because it's just, how many different ways can you say that the Jets are getting chances, but they're not converting on them?
Well, as that's all we've been saying for a long time.
That's what I'm saying, but how many different ways can you say it, right?
Well, hopefully enough ways that we keep everybody in the chat entertained and they don't want to turn us off, because the whole point is that we hope you stick with us.
I could, like, if people want, I could talk about the Jets' lack of finish while riding a unicycle and trying to juggle.
That would be.
I'll do that for the sake of the show, Dave.
Ezzy, that would be fantastic. I mean, if you could do that, that'd be, I'd pay to watch that. Would you? I think, let's ask the chat. Would you want to see Ezzy do that? Whew, okay. Well, I mean, as the Jets end up losing a game they couldn't afford to lose to a team in San Jose that was 32nd in the NHL. And as I said, had only won 6 games at home all season long, now 7, courtesy of the Jets. Kenny's water bottle says the torch and pitchfork crowd seems to have left. Diehards are still here at 1 a.m. Kenny's, that's why we love you. That's why we love everyone in the chat. You know, even if you stick with us for a little bit, or you stick with us throughout the course of the broadcast, or some people will stay for a little bit and then download the podcast and listen to Ezzy and I after. But regardless of how you get your illegal curve, we appreciate you joining us, regardless of whether it's an afternoon game on Saturday or an early morning game here on Wednesday.
I'm looking forward to a normal 7:00 p.m. Central Time start against the Red Wings, Dave. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
I've never looked more forward after this California trip and the afternoon game, and this 9:30 start, 9:00 start. Give me 7:00 p.m. Central. That's a time that you can set your watch to.
So I don't know where Phil is, but Phil's saying it's 6:55 a.m. where he is, and he's got to go to work in a minute. So Phil,
let's try to guess where Phil is. Japan?
Yeah.
Is Japan ahead of us or behind us?
No, they're ahead. I would think maybe. I'm thinking
who's behind us.
Well, out west, like Hawaii would be behind us, but I'm pretty sure.
I'd like to be in Hawaii right now.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I'm gonna guess he's somewhere in Europe is my guess. But Phil will fill us in where he is as we go along here on the Illegal Curve post game show and gets, sidetracked and sidebarred and everything else. He's in the Channel Islands, Ezzy. Do you know where the Channel Islands are?
Of course I know where the Channel Islands are.
As Ezzy types into Google.
I have no idea where I've never even heard of the Channel Islands.
I believe they're
somewhere a lot warmer and cooler than Winnipeg.
They're actually not. I believe they're in the English Channel. Hold on. Tell me if I'm right. I think they're in the UK.
Dave is a geography major, so he knows his stuff here.
I'm gonna go with the channel. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. Has this turned into the Illegal Curve geography show? But Brent asked, why wouldn't we call up guys from the AHL at this point? Well,
I've been saying this to you for no joke for a month.
Kyle McDonald's saying, and he doesn't want to be a dick, but he thinks I look like Hades from Disney's Hercules with the blue shirt and the fireplace in the background. Okay, well that's. I don't think you're a dick. I think that's okay. I mean, Hades could be a tough dude.
Phil, the Channel Islands are off the coast of France.
No, I know. I'm right. He said Phil says I'm right. There we go. All right, thank you.
How do we get to the Channel Islands? Let's broadcast a show from the Channel Islands.
I mean, so I know some people are talking about Mark Scheifele's interview after the game. We haven't obviously seen it because we're currently doing this show right now. I know. So some folks are saying that it was, One Bird Fun Word, which is one of our favorite names here on the Illegal Curve.
One Bird Fun Word was the Tough Duck Toque winner from last game, and he still has to email me. So if One Bird Fun Word is listening or watching,
well, obviously they are.
They just
commented
Tough
1
Duck
second
has a
ago.
Toque waiting for you.
Anywho, well, I'm you know what, guys and girls, I've got too much going on that I'm not gonna be able to pull it up. I could try, but I don't feel like doing it right now. We'll you know what? It'll be available on a little website called illegalcurve.com. So you won't have to worry about listening to the Mark Scheib. We're not going to want it to play it right now. Ezzy and I are chatting. We're doing geography quizzes. We got Tough Duck Toques to give away. We've got a Seagram shot of the game. We've got the IC merch contest. I know that I met a couple of more people. I sent out some.
By the way, Phil, I don't know if Tough Duck's going to send out to the Channel Islands because we're still trying to determine if the Channel Islands are real. But I don't know if Tough Duck will ship out there. But if you're back in Manitoba, then we'll hook you up with some Tough Duck gear.
There you go. Although we have shipped internationally, so I mean we'll have to.
Yeah, we ship to the U.S. We haven't shipped outside of the U.S.
There you go.
Outside of North America.
There you go. But anyways, so like I said, I had a chance to meet up with some of our subscribers and some of the folks who have won contests and got them their gear. And there's still a lot of people, unfortunately, who are on that list. But I do know that some people are getting their stuff this week, and more will be getting in the next couple of days. So don't worry if you haven't received it. I got the list. It's like Jericho's list. You made the list, and if you're on the list, your gear is assured. It will be finding you very soon. Okay, let's end this segment of the show by giving a shout out to our friends at Betway, because the Betway game recap has been brought to you, as not a surprise, by our friends at Betway. It's simple, fun, and safe to bet with Betway, so head on over to Betway and bet your way. You must be 19 years or older to play as. Please, Ezra, please play responsibly. Okay, folks, we're going to go to commercial break, and when we come back, we will give away some of the gear that Ezzy and I were just talking about. So please stay tuned for these words from our sponsors.
Jerry Seinfeld, Chris Rock, Jon Stewart, Dennis Miller, Brad Garrett, the biggest acts and all the up-and-comers. They've all made their mark at Rumors Comedy Club, North America's longest-running independent comedy club. Rumors has kept Winnipeg laughing for over 25 years. When was the last time you laughed out loud? Make it a great night out with friends or book your office or birthday party, even a fundraising event at Rumors. Get all the details and dates on upcoming shows at rumorscomedyclub.com.
He winds up. Oh, looks like Ezzy took that one right in the choppers.
A blistering fast puck hurts like HE double hockey sticks. That's why I let the pros at Linden Market Dental Center turn my yow into
wow.
Get your brilliant smile back with state-of-the-art restorative and cosmetic dentistry from real pros.
And remember, always wear a mouth guard.
Now that's solid on ice advice. Learn more at lindenmarketdentalcenter.com. Creating smiles for life.
Whoa, Ezzy, everything okay? You look stressed.
Of course I'm stressed. We're moving, the house is upside down, the kids failed miserably at packing the fine china, and my life is in chaos. Chaos!
Yes, that does sound like a problem.
What am I going to do?
Ezzy, relax. Rolly's Transfer Moving and Storage is the answer. With 60 years of experience in moving Manitobans and a track record of exemplary customer service, one call to Rolly's and your stress is gone. No job is too big or too small. Just visit Rollies.com and they will take it from there.
Thanks, Dave, and thank you, Rollies Transfer Moving and Storage, online at Rollies.com.
Dave, my man, why are you in the car already? It's hours until game time.
Drew, it's because I'm stressed out right now, driving around downtown Winnipeg, looking for a parking spot, and I'm not finding one. I've lost Ginsburg. I don't even know where that guy is right now.
Dave, haven't I taught you anything? Do what I do. Pre-book your entire month's worth of game day parking with the Grid Park app. It's super easy to use and saves me both time and stress.
Well, Drew, I'm not independently wealthy like you are. So I'm sorry that I don't have millions of dollars to pre-book my parking month in advance. What's that going to cost you? $25?
How about $5?
Come on, $5? No way.
$5. I'm not telling you a lie. And our listeners can get a free park with the new special promo code Illegal Curve. Guess what? There's more.
Come on, there's more, Drew. You're lying to me. What more could there be?
Grid Park now has underground parking, so my car can stay warm during the game.
So wait a second. All the driving around I do, looking for parking, minus 40. You're telling me I could be toasty warm in a car after the hockey game?
That's exactly what I'm telling you. Underground parking. Just download the Grid Park app. That's GRYD Park and use the code Illegal Curve. All one word. You'll park for free your first time.
Hi, it's Drew from Illegal Curve here. Selling your home can be stressful, but it wasn't for me. Thanks to my friends at Zappia Group Realty, they made the process so easy. My home sold within 48 hours and with multiple offers. Zappia Group Realty took care of everything with their exquisite customer service and attention to detail. If you want to sell your home for more in less time, get started by talking to Frank and Mauro Zappia of Zappia Group Realty. Online at zappiagroup.com.
For 3 generations and over 80 years, Tough Duck has been making apparel that works and plays as hard as the people who wear it. From jackets to work boots and everything in between, Tough Duck's clothing can handle the harshest environments, even the Illegal Curve Hockey Show. Work to live, live to play. Visit toughduck.com.
Welcome back to the Illegal Curve post-game show. It is a bright and early 1 o'clock in the morning. Well, actually 1:05 in the morning here on the Illegal Curve post-game show.
It's going to be a rough one for me in the office tomorrow, let me tell you.
Hey, I still got to do the Illegal Curve game recap plus the morning papers. So we're not going to go, and Kenny and Rennie are on, so we're not going to go too much.
Use the Illegal Curve AI.
What's that?
Yes,
for that. I will use that. I will. Good point. Good point by you, Mr.
We're going to be
Ginsburg.
replaced in a couple of years. This is just going to be a couple of robots talking.
I thought we already were robots. Anyways, so thank you for sticking with us. And throughout the course of this broadcast, we have enjoyed bringing it to you, even if it is Steve B wants his Moose Minute. Holy moly, there's a lot going on.
No, Steve B, there's no time tonight. Let's hold it off until Friday.
Really?
I gotta sleep.
But there's only one problem though. If I hold it off till Friday, that there's there's another game on Thursday, which means
put on your antlers. It's time for the Minuk Moose Minute on the Illegal Curve Hockey Show.
Anyways, I'm not really going to do a Minuk Moose Minute. I just want to hear the music. But anywho, I'm just going to say quickly, because the Moose didn't have a very good game, folks. So you can go read the recap. It's already on illegalcurve.com. I'm not going to spend all your time listening to that. Just 2 notable things to discuss. Number 1, Jansen Harkins. If you want to talk about guys who need to get recalled, 21 goals, 21 assists in 35 games for the Manitoba Moose. Obviously, 42 points. Steve B got his way. He's very happy. I got a woo and a boo because he's also not happy. It's not going to be a long one. And, of course, Parker Ford, that's not a car dealership. That's the newest signed player thank you. He's the newest signed player by the Winnipeg Jets organization out of Providence College. He signed a 2-year ELC. Have we talked about that yet, Izzy, or no? I mean, no, we don't have to talk about it right now, but I can't remember if we talked about it or not. Did it come up?
I think he signed after
the... Yeah, it signed up, so we didn't have a chance to talk about it.
But he signed after the Jets game.
Right.
The LA game.
Right. So anyway, so yeah, I think he signed either Sunday morning or
I listened to the interview. It was you and Austin. I listened to the questions. You were asking good questions.
Thank you. Thank you.
It was interesting to hear that he went to high school with Alex Limoges.
Yeah, I did not know that.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
And he's pumped up. And look, and I like that he said that, the Jets stuck with him, even though because he went back for his last year with Providence, right? 4 years, I think.
Yeah.
Dave with Providence, right?
Yeah.
So look at it. I mean, it's fun to watch, those types of prospects that we don't watch a lot of college hockey, right? So
right.
And he scored it. I'm gonna steal your thunder here, but
go ahead. I dropped the Minuk Moose Minute on you, so you can steal my thunder.
I watched, but he scored a goal in his first pro game, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I was talking to some of the Moose people after the game, and we were trying to remember there's a lot of prospects who have done it, but regardless, I mean, we keep paralleling him to Brandon Tanev. He's a feisty little player. He's small. He's 5'9", whereas Tanev is 6'1", but he plays that kind of game. That's the way the folks at Elite Prospects describe him. And he seems like a nice kid. He seems like he'll be a good fit in this group. And so look at Brendan Dillon, over 800 games as an undrafted player. So just because you go through the draft doesn't mean anything. Of course, it doesn't necessarily mean how you're going to finish the game. Mike Keane, of course, who's around the Moose all the time, 3-time Stanley Cup champion, undrafted. So there's lots of opportunity for guys, even if you aren't drafted.
Former captain of the Habs.
Exactly. And played for who else has he?
Mike Keane.
Who else did he win his cups with?
Oh yeah, well he won the cup with Montreal in 1986, and then Dallas in 1999, and then with the Avalanche.
There you go. I knew.
Was that 2001? It was 2001.
Yeah, I believe so.
Keane might have 4 cups, but
no.
Regardless, I mean he's a beauty, and what a great NHL player. Yeah.
But anyway, so good on Parker Ford. He got his first NHL goal and AHL goal, sorry, not NHL goal, but good on him. And he, like I said, he seems to be getting more comfortable, and we'll see how it goes for him. He's on an ATO with the Moose, and of course his ELC with the Jets will start next year. Okay, let's. Do you want to get into the comments, or do you want to do the Tough Duck?
We can do Tough Duck. I've got it queued up there for you.
Yeah, I've got it starred. I finally figured out what the heck to do, because now that Mindel's abdicated his responsibility as the host, I'm holding court figuring this all out. So I'm going to host it. I'm going to post it up. Sorry, I should say right here, and you can announce who it is the winner and the winning comment.
Yeah, we'll give it to 10A City. You got the comment up there, Dave. Players can want to make the playoffs, but if they are on an island of how to play the game, it does not matter. Bonus has said what to do, and he has players defying it now publicly. And the reason why I like that comment, there's, and we thank obviously everybody, especially those people who've stuck around for the end of the post-game show here at 10 after 1, stuck with us. We really appreciate that. That's why we do it, right? But the reason why there's a lot of good comments, the reason why I like this one is because, I mean, what else can Rick Bowness say at this point, right? And like, he has tried to motivate these guys, and I didn't think they played that poorly tonight. Like, I like their effort better tonight than on Saturday afternoon against LA, Dave. But again, you didn't finish. You didn't get the goals, and you didn't get the power play goal when you needed. That's the same old story, right? So I do think that if the Jets are going to ultimately make the playoffs and win a game or two, or win a round or two, right? I mean, these guys are going to have to turn it up. They're going to have to turn up the intensity level, turn up the urgency level, everything like that, because I mean, it just wasn't enough tonight. So 10A City, send me an email, ezra@illegalcurve.com. Hopefully you're still watching. If not, hopefully you'll see this on the replay, or somebody will let you know. But yeah, send me an email, and with your mailing info, and Tough Duck will ship out a toque to you.
So congratulations to 10A City. Well done on that one. We'll go to the IC contest. Again, I'm not going to give you the spiel. You know it in the notes, pregame reports, practice reports, morning papers. I always have links to the Gleam. It's called gleam.io. You can go there, and there's a multitude of ways that you can enter. And if you enter, you can win. You don't need to enter everything. You can just enter, go to illegalcurve.com. That gives you an entry. Follow us on YouTube. Just kidding. You don't actually have to do that, but I want you to do that. So make sure you're subscribing on YouTube. Right, Ezzy? Got to make sure we have that subscription numbers. Now I'm going to go to the contest winner. The contest winner is Paul Greenaway. So congratulations to Paul Greenaway from Winnipeg, I believe. You are the winner of the Illegal Curve merch contest. I will be in contact with you. I know that, like I said, I got a notification via DM that one of the merch guys got his stuff mailed to him. So that was exciting. And as I'm not going to steal your thunder, because you deserve it, you came up with the unique code word, which I believe is your first unique code word of the season.
Well, I texted you because I was thinking
I didn't have one. I did not have one.
I thought you might, but I checked with you first if you had one, and then I gave it to you. But I just I can never not think of this guy when I think of the Sharks, because he was the first ever draft pick. That, of course, being Pat Falloon, who was drafted 2nd overall after Eric Lindros.
I was going to say Lindros, wasn't it? Yeah.
And of course, he's from Fox Warren, Manitoba.
There you go. So Fox Warren, Fox, and then WARREN. For those of you listening on the podcast and wanting to get 10 extra entries into the Illegal Curve merch contest, where you can win authentic Jets jerseys, hats, or shirts. And there you go. That's how
the
you
craziest
get it.
thing. Sorry, Dave. I just wanted to to quickly get this in there about that draft. That was the 91 draft when Lindros went to Quebec, but he refused to go to Quebec, right?
Of course.
So the Sharks take Pat Falloon with their first ever draft pick.
Yeah.
Who goes number 3, Dave, to the Devils? Scott Niedermayer. Who goes number 6 to the Philadelphia Flyers? Peter Forsberg.
Forsberg.
And of course, Forsberg and Lindros were traded to each other. Then Forsberg ends up winning the Stanley Cup. Who was drafted 5th overall by the Jets, Dave?
What year was it?
1991. Former guest of the Illegal Curve Hockey Show. Defensive defenseman.
Oh, Freddie Olsen?
Nope. Canadian.
Oh, it's not Dean Kennedy.
Big defenseman. Played for the University of Michigan. Aaron Ward.
Oh, Aaron Ward. And Aaron Ward is funny actually if you remember, because I remember getting
Stanley Cup champion Aaron Ward.
But Aaron Ward, if you remember, I remember reading an article in the Free Press about him because he fought his way out of. He didn't want to sign with Winnipeg, and so he had there were some machinations with Aaron Ward, if I recall correctly, and he forced his way out of Winnipeg. I remember when they drafted him that Aaron Ward was not going to be and just to quickly throw it to that and we're gonna have to end this soon because we're gonna pass out. You're gonna see me. I'm gonna be sleeping. So I've already done a whole Moose game, folks. Worked all day, full Moose game, and now a full Jets game, and now a post game show. So Dave M's getting a little tired. Plus, I got work to do still for another 45 minutes to an hour. But it was the 28th anniversary of Alexei Zamnov, or Zhamnov, depending on your preferred pronunciation, scoring his 20th goal of the season, which gave the Jets 4 rookies to score 20 goals in a season, becoming the first NHL team to do that. Who are the 4 rookies, Ez?
Zamnov.
Yeah.
Was that the Solani year?
Yeah.
Luciano Borsato.
Nope.
Igor Korolev.
Nope.
Keith Tkachuk.
Yep.
Who's the 4th one?
Think okay, yeah, Stu's getting a good one. Stu and Steve B got it, but remember Russian.
Oh, not Korolev?
No.
Oh, Davidov.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Evgeny Davidov. That's a good blast from the past.
Steve B saying the Young Guns poster. You got to think about the Young Guns poster.
Well,
it's a classic.
I've got a
Mondetta. That'd be funny. You probably have it behind you
with Zamnov and Solani and Tkachuk and Bobby Essenza, Thomas Steen when they're all standing in front of their flags.
Yeah.
So that one on the wall, but yeah,
I think it was
Davidov was. I thought I had it with Korolev or Borsato there.
Yeah. But I believe Zamnov did it against the LA Kings, and it was like 28 years ago or something like that. It was it's scary actually. Crazy. How long ago it was, but. Whoo, okay, as I think we're done here. I think we've broken down the Jets 3-0 loss to San Jose Sharks. The Manitoba Moose lost 6-3 to the Laval Rocket. They won't play them again, and the Moose will be only too happy to not play them. The Moose are practicing tomorrow, and then they're back in action on Thursday. I've given away all the Moose tickets. I think I'm done for the season. I think we've given away. I had 4 tickets to the night's game, Ezzy. I forgot about it. I was at morning skate at Canada Life Center. And I was like talking, I was like, oh, I think I got an alert. I was like, okay, I better let people know. People right away, bunch of messages, but people wanted to go. And I was like, felt bad. So anyways, the Moose ticket, the machine is done.
Because people want to see a power play goal that bad live.
Exactly. Although the Moose, again, like I said, didn't have their best effort, but we'll see if how they can flip that around on Thursday when they take on the Abbotsford Canucks. And of course, the Winnipeg Ice, they are in action game 1 against the Medicine Hat Tigers on Friday. That is here in Winnipeg. So if you want to get tickets, go check out the Ice. They are a team that is expected to go, of all the teams in Winnipeg, folks, that is the team that is expected to go the farthest by most pundits. So make sure you go out and check them out at U of M. So lots doing here. And Frosty, I don't know if Frosty's still with us. I mean, this show's gone. It's actually not really off the rails. We've been relatively consistent, actually, as we've only had 1 or 2 segues. But for the most part, we've been pretty good. Phyllis has got 305 entries. That's pretty good. Frosty's in the chat. I should have known. I don't want to ever diminish what importance Frosty is for this show, what he does for us. So let's and of course our sponsors, because this show is nothing without our sponsors. So a big thank you to all of the sponsors of Illegal Curve who make the post-game show, the Saturday show, and the website illegalcurve.com with all the latest Winnipeg Jets, Manitoba Moose, Winnipeg Ice news, a possibility, and they are in no particular order: Rumors Restaurant and Comedy Club, Linden Market Dental Center, Zappia Group Realty, Betway, Tough Duck, Boston Pizza, Seagram's, Rolly's Transfer, Grid Park, and The Keg. Support these fine businesses because of their continued support of Illegal Curve Hockey. Woo! Okay, as well, I am toast. It's 1:20. Go to Kenny and Rennie, everyone. Go join them. Support them. Keep them rolling because they may be going till 2 a.m. Those guys. Well, for Weber,
Kenny's still celebrating his birthday, Dave.
But Weber it doesn't really count because he's in California. He's in Northern California, so it's actually 11.
It's only 11.
It's 11:15. Yeah. So I mean, like that to me, I'm not even thinking. I mean, I'm not thinking about this time, but we're not going to give Weber any credit. But Reynolds,
we don't have to say wake up to Ken.
No wake up to him. But thank you. By the way, we're going to give the subscription box said this show is by far 100% more entertaining than the Jets shit show. I can say shit because
we'll have to check out subscription box show.
Yeah,
I'm not sure what that show is, but if it is a real show, but I'll check it out.
Well, it's got a cool
Thanks
graphic.
for watching us
at
1:20 in the morning.
Yes, and John Chan, by the way, I don't know if you responded to my email, but if you...
Can I come to Singapore and live with you?
Now, that wasn't the email I sent you, but I did send you an email about the merch contest. So if you didn't get that email, send me a DM, IC Dave, and on Twitter, and I want to get your address and your information so I can send you the merch. And okay, Hez, I think that is officially the end of this show. So again, like I said, thanks everyone for listening to the Illegal Curve postgame show. I'm Dave Manouk. He is Ezra Ginsburg. He's going to bed. I'm going to do some work. So theillegalcurve.com will be populated with all the latest Jets, Moose, and Ice news for you first thing this morning, whether it's right now or at 7 o'clock when the morning papers are available. Thanks, everyone. Make sure you smash the like button on the way out and have a good rest of your morning and a good Wednesday afternoon, evening, everything. Good night.
Peace.